They fear the silence. They think stillness means weakness. But in reality, it takes more strength to sit with your emotions than it does to run from them. Psychology proves this too. Stillness activates the parts of the brain linked to focus and decision-making. It resets your nervous system. It helps regulate your emotions. It builds resilience. So when you train yourself to become still, you're not becoming slower. You're becoming sharper. You're not giving up. You're gaining control. Stillness is a choice. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right thing at the right time with a clear mind. And in a world that rewards chaos, choosing stillness is an act of power. A calm mind isn't an empty mind. It's a focused one. And when your mind is focused, it becomes sharp, like a blade that's been cleaned, cleared, and prepared, ready to cut through confusion, noise, and fear. Calmness clears the fog. It removes the emotional dust that blinds your thinking. Because when you're angry, scared, or stressed, you don't think better, you just react faster. But faster doesn't mean smarter. Real intelligence isn't loud. It's quiet, clear, and steady. It comes from the ability to pause and choose your next move. That pause, that's where power lives. When you stay calm, your brain shifts into clarity mode. You don't get pulled into drama. You don't fall into traps. You don't speak just to be heard. You speak to make impact. Calmness trains the mind to observe before acting, to wait before responding, to reflect before deciding. And that reflection is what separates success from regret. Think about how many mistakes people make in a state of panic. How many words are said in anger? How many choices are made out of fear? Now think of the damage that could be avoided. If calmness had been the first step, your mind was never meant to run wild all the time. It was meant to serve you, not control you. And when you slow it down, you sharpen it. You start seeing patterns. You start solving problems. You start noticing what others ignore. Calm people make fewer mistakes because they're not rushing. They're not reacting to every emotion. They're thinking with precision. That's what makes calmness a weapon. It doesn't look aggressive, but it wins battles others don't even see coming. Sharpen your mind through calmness, and you'll stop being a slave to pressure. You'll become the master of your focus. And once your focus is sharp, nothing can distract you from your path. When emotions take over, logic disappears. Anger speaks before thinking. Fear runs before understanding. Sadness stops before trying. This is where most people lose control, not in their circumstances, but in their emotions. And without control, life becomes reactive. You're no longer choosing your path. You're just responding to pain, fear, and pressure. But calmness changes that. Calmness is emotional intelligence in motion. It doesn't mean you feel less. It means you understand more. You start noticing what you feel without being ruled by it. You begin to observe your anger without exploding. You feel fear, but don't let it decide for you. You carry sadness, but don't let it stop you. That's real power. Human psychology proves it. When your mind is calm, your emotional system becomes balanced. The brain's stress centers quiet down. Your breathing slows. Your heart rate stabilizes. And in that state, your decisions become clearer, stronger, and smarter. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about managing them. Not every emotion deserves your energy. Not every feeling deserves your reaction. Calmness teaches you to choose what to respond to and what to release. The calm person doesn't shout to prove their point. They know that loud reactions often come from inner chaos. Instead, they move with silence and certainty. They've trained themselves to stay grounded when others are triggered. And that's why they lead not through force, but through presence. When you control your emotions, you take your power back. You stop being pushed around by moods. You stop letting pain define your choices. You stop allowing fear to set your limits. That's what calmness gives you. Control over the only thing that truly matters, yourself. And once you gain that, there's nothing more powerful than a person who feels everything but chooses their response. True strength isn't loud. It doesn't scream. It doesn't chase attention. It stands quietly unshaken, unbothered, unbreakable. That kind of strength doesn't come from the gym. It doesn't come from titles or trophies. It comes from within. From learning how to stay calm when everything around you tries to break you. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. Storms will come. But calmness is what keeps you standing when everything else shakes. It's easy to be strong when things go right. But your real power shows when they don't. When the pressure rises and you don't crack. When the insults come and you don't react. When fear knocks and you don't run, that's inner strength. The kind that can't be taken away. The kind that doesn't depend on approval, applause, or outcomes. And here's what most people don't realize. Calmness is a skill. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build. Day by day. By choosing not to react. By learning to breathe through discomfort. By staying still when the world pulls at you. Psychology tells us that resilience isn't about never falling. It's about rising with a wiser, calmer mind each time you do. Because every time you choose calmness over chaos, you grow stronger. Your nervous system learns to regulate. Your mind learns to focus. Your emotions learn to trust you. Calmness is your anchor. It keeps you from drowning in doubt. It reminds you who you are when life tries to confuse you. And once you build that calm, you stop fearing storms because you know you've become the storm's calm center. That's what makes you powerful. Not just that you survived, but that you did it with grace, focus, and a quiet strength that nobody saw coming. When you're constantly in motion, it's hard to see clearly. Your thoughts blur, your focus scatters, and you begin to lose sight of what truly matters. The more you rush, the more you miss. The more you react, the more confusion piles up. And the more noise you let in, the harder it becomes to make sense of anything. But calmness clears the fog. When you stop, breathe, and quiet your mind, clarity comes. In that stillness, everything slows down. Your thoughts become sharper. Your vision becomes clearer. And you begin to see the truth that was always there, waiting to be noticed. This is how calmness works on the mind. It resets your focus. It removes distractions. It helps you see what's real, not what's imagined. It allows you to hear the answers that have always been within you. People often think clarity is a gift only a few get. But the truth is, clarity is earned. It's earned through stillness, through patience, and through the courage to silence the noise. And the more you practice calmness, the more natural clarity becomes. Once your mind becomes clear, you stop chasing answers in the wrong places. You start trusting your instincts. You stop second-guessing yourself. And you begin to act with confidence because you know you've seen the truth. Psychologically, when you remove the mental clutter, your brain can process information better. You make decisions faster and with more certainty. You stop doubting your path because you've learned to see it clearly. This is the power of calmness. It gives you clarity. And once you have clarity, the path ahead becomes obvious. You stop asking what if and start asking what's next. Calmness doesn't just make you feel better. It makes you think better. And once you think better, you start living better. Your life becomes more aligned with your true self, and you begin to make decisions that reflect who you really are. The decisions you make shape your life. Every choice, no matter how small, has a ripple effect. And the quality of your decisions determines the quality of your life. But how many times do people make decisions out of fear, stress, or impulse?